Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've gotta be the man. For I am the man himself.
Guys, what is going on here? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I'm back here for another review. This is, though, a recorded review, though, of this past Friday's edition of Friday Night SmackDown. I know I said I'm trying to do live streams more often, but because I have my Saturday night's main event review to do still, and, you know, it was just a week where it was the first week since my wife went back to work, and we're still adjusting to the scheduling now with getting my son to his babysitters and whatnot. It was kind of a adjusting, but, you know, successful week. So I decided, because also this episode of SmackDown, which I actually fell asleep watching on Friday, and I rewatched the parts I couldn't remember tonight after Saturday's main event. Because of that, I decided, well, SmackDown I'll record, but Saturday night's main event I will go live for. So that'll probably be tomorrow. I still gotta make the graphic. Don't know if I'll have time to make it tonight. Still gotta make the graphic for Saturday night's main event. And of course, this coming week there will be no Raw or SmackDown reviews, as it is the week of a pay-per-view. But either way, this is an episode of SmackDown. I don't know, guys. I don't know if this was an episode where it was a bunch of stuff that it was either like, I'm kind of over this, or I gotta see where this goes first and see or whatnot. Or if it's just, again, the fact that this current roster for SmackDown is just not going to be able to put on a consistent, exciting 3-hour show. It's not really working so far, I feel. 3-hour SmackDown. The first week it was great. Ever since then, I wouldn't say it's been horrible, but it's not been great either. This was probably, I thought, the weakest of the episodes so far from the 3 hours edition of SmackDown. Like I said, it was full of a bunch of stuff that was like, you know, I gotta see where this goes, or I'm kind of tired of this. Pretty much. So I don't have too much to say about it also, which is why I wanted to just pre-record it. So we're going to just kind of just like skim through things here very quickly. We opened up with Joe Tessitore interviewing Cody Rhodes, who basically just hypes up the contract signing. Even though, again, I thought it was more so like an addendum, not a contract, but apparently it was just a typical contract sign that they did on Saturday night's main event tonight as well, which again, I'll talk about it briefly in the review whenever I do it. Just basically hyping that up as well. And also just, you know, talking typical, you know, Kevin Owens, whatnot. He's, you know, he's a heel. He's a genius IQ. But, you know, he 10 times out of 10, he still chooses the easy way out and whatnot and everything. Maybe he's just jealous, all this, and that. And yeah, so basically just that all happens. So that's all that interview was. Then we have Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, and DIY, and they're basically like, you know, trying to work with Pretty Deadly and protecting their tag title reign and whatnot, which I'd rather I see where they're going with it, but I'd rather have them do this story with like maybe someone that the crowd is more into, because if the goal is to turn Pretty Deadly face, for me right now personally, it's not gonna really appeal to me that much, seeing Pretty Deadly be the ones to take the tag titles off DIY. Because I just don't. I'm just not into Pretty Deadly. I'm not. There's nothing that really excites me too much about them. I'd rather see like fast forward later on, it was revealed that DIY will defend the tag titles at the Royal Rumble in a 2 out of 3 falls match against Motor City Machine Guns, which that would be a great match. But like, even if I don't know who I want to win that match, because I could see MCMG winning, but I also want to see DIY have a lengthy title reign, especially if they're these new heel characters. But if the long-term story is for them to put over Pretty Deadly, it's like, does Pretty Deadly really have anything to get like that babyface sympathy? Like, cause me personally, I love DIY more than Pretty Deadly. Like, if it was more of like an underdog tag, I don't know, like this is like a far shot off. Like, if it was like a Heath Slater and a Rhino, then that would probably work. But Pretty Deadly, like, I don't know how you can get much babyface sympathy from Pretty Deadly with DIY as their heels. So that's kind of like a confusing thing there. Also, Johnny Gargano took on Apollo Crews. Yeah, Crews can't lose. Well, that was from back in like 2016 when he was feuding with The Miz for the IC title. Speaking of which, we'll be talking about him in a second. But yeah, Johnny Gargano lost to Apollo Crews thanks to a distraction by Motor City Machine Guns, which, cool, but as you all know, Apollo Crews isn't going to be anywhere higher than the role he's been playing since or whatnot. So that was all that in there. Yeah, also Motor City Machine Guns did beat Pretty Deadly. So like I said, it's like I have no reason to really take them seriously. This was interesting though. So The Miz showed up on SmackDown. Nick Aldis wanted him to come over, and Miz is like, that Joe Tessitore guy is a good interviewer, but it's not like Miz TV. Nick Aldis, though, said that The Miz, per the whole transition window, is now a member of SmackDown. And, of course, The Miz, though, is, like, shocked, but then he also realizes, because apparently the Wyatt Six have also been moved over to SmackDown as well, kind of abruptly ending their feud with the Final Testament. But, of course, The Miz was like, I worked out getting the Wyatt Six over here to be done with them. And now it's just him and the Wyatt Six, no Final Testament. Of course, he thinks also that Karrion Kross had something to do with him moving over and playing the mind games. So now The Miz has to find, some friends to help him with the Wyatt Six. Which, that would be interesting. Of course, I thought at first maybe it was going to be Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, but apparently later in the night, they were told they're moving to Raw. So, I mean, we're getting some concrete transitions with this whole transfer window. But again, like I said, not as bad on SmackDown, but like from this past week's episode of Raw, it's getting a wee bit too much. Like, okay, if they're there as like a prospect to be there, then, cool. But if they're just showing up now for no reason, then I'm kind of, okay, let's not do that. Like they did with Nia Jax. And her getting this random title shot with Rhea Ripley at Saturday night's main event. I'm just like, that makes no sense. She basically got a title shot for showing up on Raw. She's not a Raw superstar, and she just attacked Rhea for no reason. But yeah, so we got a couple, transitions happening there. So yeah, Miz is on SmackDown, and he's trying to find, a team or someone to help him with the Wyatt Six. Obviously, he's not getting A-Town down under because they're going to Raw. He had a conversation with Andrade later on in the night. Don't know if Andrade took it seriously or not, but we'll see where that goes. We're showing that storyline. But yeah, Miz has officially moved to SmackDown, which has been a while since he's been on SmackDown. When was the last time he was a SmackDown star? I feel like it was like before the pandemic, because it's been a while since he's been on SmackDown. We also get a hype reel for Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu. Let me just say, the match they had at Saturday night's main event did exactly what I thought it should do, and it succeeded for sure. It's obvious now, based off the promos and everything, that, again, the WWE is getting ready to give Jacob Fatu that singles push. The fast forward later on to that, though, Tama Tonga did take on LA Knight. LA Knight did beat him, but afterwards they beat him down, and Braun Strowman saved him and basically just as a teaser for their match for Saturday night's main event. We'll talk about the match though more when we get to that review, probably tomorrow. Kevin Owens also interrupts the show to yell at Joe Tessitore because he didn't interview him, and he goes promo how he's going to win at the Rumble, and he also confronts Matthew McConaughey, taunting him, of course, in the crowd, and then Jimmy Uso comes down and basically says, "You just talk too much," and they start beating him down, and that sets up for their main event match later on in the show, which Carmelo Hayes took offense to because he was supposed to face Jimmy at first, but I guess they changed that. And then Carmelo Hayes was told he's going to be facing another new member of the SmackDown roster, which is Damian Priest. Which, okay, I like that one. Get him away from Judgment Day. Give him a fresh roster. We'll see where that goes with Damian changing brands. He did beat Carmelo Hayes, though, and we will get the Jimmy and Carmelo match next week. Kevin Owens did beat Jimmy Uso in the main event. I do like that Jimmy Uso is getting more of a personality through this face gimmick. Like this hope as to like maybe he will get a successful singles run on his own. Like he's trying to find himself. And again, it works much better for him as a face than it did as a heel. But yeah, the stuff with Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, especially after what happened at Saturday Night's main event tonight, it's like, it's very obvious Kevin's gonna lose. So it's like, I feel like right now, it's like, I don't know, like you know, all that happens is, you know, Cody and Kevin just fight. And it just, to me, it feels like that it's not gonna go anywhere. I mean, based off what happened on Raw, it's obvious we're going to be doing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for WrestleMania. I just really feel like that them not putting the belt on Kevin at all this time, or even last month, it's kind of a missed opportunity, I feel like. But, like I said, I don't want to talk too much about that, because I'll basically leave something out to talk about for the Saturday Night's main event review. But yeah, that's a little meh. So we have all that going on. And of course, Carmelo Hayes did attack Jimmy in his entrance. It was weird though. It was the first time I ever saw Jimmy run into Carmelo on the way out. And then when they do that whole production shot where they follow them along, Carmelo was following right behind him. I never seen them try that before. That was interesting. But yeah, so that's all happened there. And of course, again, Carmelo did lose to Damian Priest later on in the show. B-Fab and Mia Yim teamed up to take on Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Obviously, it's setting up for Mia Yim to get one more crack with the Women's United States title. I kind of want her to win it, but I also feel like they'd be taking off of Chelsea way too soon. But I do like that they've been giving B-Fab some opportunities on TV. Again, I think she is improving in the ring. She's still, you know, rusty and whatnot, but I see her improving. So I do like that spotlight they're giving her. I also do like this new kind of like character to have for Piper Niven being like Chelsea Green's secret service agent or whatnot. But I still think Piper needs to go singles and be a babyface again. She works much better as a single star. When that'll happen, I don't know, but we'll see. We did have another return vignette for Charlotte Flair, who did announce that she will be returning at the Royal Rumble. I'm wondering now, a lot of people are saying that, is if Charlotte Flair is announcing her return, does this mean there's an even bigger surprise for Rumble? I mean, I'm still pretty sure Becky Lynch is coming back as a surprise as well. Although, I feel like if they want to pull off an even bigger surprise, I still think AJ Lee should be that big surprise they hold off for. But I can't 100%, you know, believe AJ's coming back. She could, but I don't know. We'll see where that goes, though, as well. Then, of course, we also have Tiffany Stratton coming out saying that she's not worried about Rumble. She's just wondering who's going to be on Tiffy time afterwards, challenging her for the title at WrestleMania. Rhea came out and said, well, just so you know, I'm a champion too. Then Nia comes out, she declares for the Rumble, and she's gonna win. Even if she wins the title at Saturday Night's main event, she's still gonna enter the Women's Royal Rumble so she can get a shot at Tiffany and get her title back and whatnot. Then it was Bianca and Naomi kind of saying, well, we're going to win the Royal Rumble, and one of us is going to win it, whatnot. And then Liv and Raquel came out saying the same thing. Led to a random 6-woman tag match that, again, we've seen Bianca, Naomi, and Rhea versus Candice, Liv Morgan, and Nia Jax. We've seen all these women fight each other how many times? So I didn't really care for it. And the heels won that match with Lorraine a crucifix pin on Bianca Belair. Keep wondering if that's maybe the tease that Bianca's the one who's attacked Jade. Kind of hoping we get that information revealed at Rumble, but we'll see. I still hope it's Bianca. I prefer it to be Bianca than Naomi. Signs are still kind of pointing to Naomi for me, but I still wish it was Bianca. We got all that. Already talked about Apollo Crews. Talked about all that. Anything else I'm missing here? Already talked about 8 times on Under being told they're going to Raw. Shinsuke Nakamura also announced his entry into the Rumble match. Yeah, he's not winning. He's not winning at all whatsoever. Again, I still worry because Nakamura still has not done much since winning the US title. Like, again, I do like his new samurai type character. But again, it's the same thing as before. I keep saying every time he has a mid-card title, he doesn't really do much. He's not really on TV and whatnot. So I just don't still have the 100% faith that he's really going much where with this title. But he's in the Rumble. Will he win? No, but whatever. And then I already talked about the main event, and after, of course, the main event, Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens brawled to end the show as he did tease doing a package pile driver on Jimmy Uso, but he did. So that was SmackDown. Like I said, a lot of stuff to me was either I gotta see where this goes, or I'm kind of getting tired of this. Again, I'm kind of just ready to be done with Cody and Kevin, because, again, I know Kevin's not winning the match. I'm hoping for him to put on, a very strong performance in that ladder match, but I'm already going to it knowing that Kevin's not winning that match. And I guess there's something I think I'm just done with. I'm done with, a lot of people are saying this too, I'm done with Bianca and Naomi fighting Candice and Nia every single week. I'm done with Rhea fighting Liv. I'm just done. But, like I said, the 3 hours is still kind of much for SmackDown, but, we got Miz moving over, got Damian Priest moving over, probably a couple other changes in there as well, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. So SmackDown for me gets I'm between a C and a C+. Probably a C+, because some of the stuff's, I didn't hate it, but some of the stuff's kind of well, I gotta see where it goes. So I'll be generous, C+ for SmackDown this week. My grade for SmackDown's a C+. Again, I will see you guys probably tomorrow for Saturday night's main event review. I also will try to get the last of, I still need to record the last part of the Wolfenstein 3D Spear of Destiny Ultimate Challenge Let's Play. And I also do need to rewatch my 24 special on Batista. I watched it once last week. I haven't had a chance to review it, but I kind of need a refresh. So I got to watch it again. Besides me saying that Batista was broke, introvert, successful. I need to say more than that in my reviews. So I'll hopefully get to some of that stuff tomorrow. But until then, guys, what are your guys' thoughts on SmackDown? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at TheClubOfTheMan93. Follow me on Instagram at TheClubOfTheMan1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch y'all later. Have a great rest of your night. Great rest of your weekend. I'll see you in my Saturday night's main event review. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just in the pain, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!